Hi, this is the elementary school Sunday school lesson for this Sunday, October 27th. The story is the fall of Jerusalem. This is on page 115 of the Shine Bible. This is the story, and this is about a king became the king of Judah, and he was very young. He didn't follow God's ways, and then eventually he was conquered by another nation, and the town here was destroyed. The soldiers chased after him, and the walls to the city broke down. It was kind of like all heck broke loose, and the people were carried off by soldiers, and then the poorest people had to stay and take care of the vineyards. So it's a hard story in terms of pain and loss and war and bad leaders and things like that. What the lesson would suggest is that the purpose is that to learn that God is with us, and even when times are hard. Okay. And the teaching tips down here I think are important. Some of them I'll read to you. It says, some biblical stories are challenging to discuss, but their universal themes of sadness, pain, and loss are important for everyone, including children. Share with them that even in the midst of trouble, God is present with the Israelites and with us, as in this story. Older children may notice that the king Zedekiah's attempts to escape had tragic consequences for his people, and it's an opportunity to talk about what it means to be a leader who cares about the people who you're supposedly leading. There's a gather, let's see, this is on page 56 of the lesson. It's under worship together. And this, I think, might be a good discussion maybe to have even before we read the story, but you can do it after as well. And it says, invite the group to name situations in which children might feel alone or scared, or that they personally may have felt like, I'm alone right now, or I'm not really comfortable right now. And remind the children that God is always with us. What I would like to do, and I've written it in here, is go a little bit beyond just God is with us and ask them, how might you have noticed or felt that God was with you, or that a comforting presence was with you in times when you felt alone or scared? Did that look like or feel like a sense of calm? Did you see something that made you happy in the midst of that? What was kind of the thing that made you think, I could see God maybe was with them? And also in this story, how could the Israelites, what would they have seen that may have led them believe, or felt that led them believe that God was with them? Because that's the times that it's hard, right? Is when we're feeling pain and loss. So those are going to be some interesting discussions, I think. I'm hopeful for the kids. The wonder and reflect questions are on page 57. And because this is a story about people having to leave their home, it also begs the discussion of refugees, because our kids are so familiar with that and have done their own volunteer work through Camp Community and our other things we've done. It might be good to let them talk about that. Like, okay, so this group of people in the story are refugees. How does that relate to modern day refugees? Just to give them a chance to discuss that more. For the craft idea, they have this opportunity to talk about signs and symbols, which are a powerful way of communicating rules and hopes and dreams, etc. There is a page, and I've made about 5 copies of this, and they can share, that are called Symbols of Hope. So they can look at this together and see, like, the dove, the fish, there's the cross, there's some other symbols here. This is an origami paper crane. But it talks about, so for example, in many different cultures, the mythical bird known as the phoenix, this is this middle one right here, is seen as a symbol of hope, because when the bird dies, it renews itself in fire and is born again from the ashes. And so these are symbols that they may be familiar with, that show hope in the midst of pain and loss and suffering. What I would love for the kids to do is, on a small piece of cardstock, it'll be about a quarter sheet of paper, is create a symbol of hope for themselves, right? What is something that they can look at that can be a symbol of hope, that can maybe serve as that reminder that I know that even when I'm alone and scared, I have this hope here, and that can be a representation of God being with me in those times. Markers, crayons, colored pencils will all be in the room they can use to make a design that is meaningful to them, that they want to hang on to. We could even laminate it for them if they want, if you want to offer that up. I'm happy to do that when I get back in town. I'm going to be in Stephen F. Austin camping with some of the groups. So it might be a smaller group today, which is fine on this Sunday, I mean. But it, just so you know, I'm not around to answer questions or provide additional supplies on Sunday. But I think this is a neat story and will be a good discussion for the kids. So let me know by tomorrow if you have any questions or want to do something different. Awesome. Thank you.